Hey, what's going on? This is Big Grime. I did a series of videos called Edit Your Rap Vocals. And with this video, I kind of want to answer some questions that people had. So let's get right to it. First question. My recordings sound like crap in the car. How can I fix it? Basically, some people are going to tell you to replace your speakers, get your room padded right, and stuff like that. And that's cool. And then they're right in a lot of ways, but some people can't really afford that. So I'm going to tell you like this. You're probably using computer speakers or monitors that are not very good, and your room is not treated. So basically what I would suggest that you do is go to the store, buy a CD to an album that sounds like the type of music that you're going to do. For example, if you're going to use a lot of bass, find an album that has a lot of bass in it. Put it in your system. Learn how your system's supposed to sound. When you pop that CD in there, that's what your song's supposed to sound like on your system. Alright, so then you compare it to what you're doing now and find out and figure out what you need to do to get it to sound like that CD. You know, you may find out that, you know, when you have it in your computer, your bass may sound real good, and then when you take it in the car, the bass is weak. That's because your computer speakers is probably saying that your bass is hitting harder than what it really is. It's not really giving you a real representation of what your music sounds like for real. So that's why it sounds weak in the car and good in your studio. So pop that CD in from the store. That gives you what your sound's supposed to sound like on your system, and compare the two and try to get it to sound close to that CD. Question number 2. You're recording the first and second verse on the same track. What happens if the second verse is louder? He's basically saying that what happens if my verse is louder than my hook? If I have it all on the same track, wouldn't it be uneven? Yes, it would. And 9 times out of 10, that'll never happen to me because the way I have my stuff set up. All my shit is going to be even anyway. But let's just say it isn't. Say my verse is louder than my hook and I have it on the same track. What I would do is I'll do either volume automation. You know, I can do it by hand or I can draw it in. I go to right click, envelopes, create track envelope, volume. And what I would do is double click to create some points. And then I pull it down. Okay, so this is my hook. This is, you know, at a certain volume. And then my verse is louder. I just take the envelope and bring it down until my verse is even with my hook. So that way it makes mixing a whole lot easier. If I'm going to do, you know, 3 vocal stack on my verse like I did my hook, I already mixed it. When I mix my, you know, my hook, I pretty much already mixed it already. It makes my job a lot easier than having to add more tracks and have to try to organize more tracks when I can have it all on the same track. Even if the panning's different, I can automate the panning. It just makes things a whole lot easier. But that's pretty much how I keep my verse and my hook even. If it's 2 different volumes. Next question. What do I have my lexicon set on? Basically, on a lexicon, let me show you real quick. I do the lead vocal room. Now, when you notice the mix is 100, that's gonna be too much. So I bring it down about 4%.
Watch your mouth, bitch. Watch your mouth, bitch. Watch your mouth.
See, at 100,
Watch your mouth, bitch. Watch your mouth.
it's too much. So I bring it down about 4%. But you know, you bring it to your taste. But in general, that's what I use. Sometimes I do make some adjustments. Depends on what type of vocal effect that I want to get, whether it's a singer or just anything. But in general, this is my starting point. You can also save it as a preset. I don't do it just because I don't like presets too much. I like to do stuff, you know, special for every track. But so that's why I don't save it as a preset. But in general, I start with the legal vocal room. Every time I record, I hear delay in my headphones. Alright, you hear delay in your headphones probably because your audio settings. So you go to options, audio. Now I use WDM. If you go to your advanced tab and look playback and recording, driver mode. I use WDM. Some people use the ASIO. If you use that, then if you go back to general and you look at the mixing latency, it should be all the way fast. They automatically put it all the way fast. Then that might be kind of an issue for you. But if you use WDM, then it may be up here. Your mixing latency may be somewhere in the middle. Make it faster. And usually that'll pull that delay back. Next question. I'm having trouble. What do you run through master bus, sub bus, and effects? Do you record first and then add effects? Or can you record? Can you use the effects while recording? You can't use the effects while recording. I use my sound card to come with effects. Makes it a lot easier. But if you want to do it in Sonar in general, let's say if you want to put an effect on, let's say this, you're about to record on this track right here. You put the effect there, and then what you would do is click on this, input echo. You record in real time. Me personally, I don't think it sounds that great. It's still kind of a delay when you try to use it in real time in Sonar. I don't know. I've never been able to get it to work like I really wanted to work. So, but that's how you can record it in real time. But I don't record in real time. If I do, I only use a compressor with the effects that come with my sound card.